Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel and welcome if you are new here. My name is Shan from HomeWithShan over on Instagram, and in today's video this is going to be my 30 to 34 week pregnancy update for you. Firstly, let me just address the way that I look. It is one of the hottest days of the year right now as I'm filming this, so yeah, I'm not putting makeup on for you guys as much as I love you, and I'm also not going to put clothes on for you either, so I am sat here in my sports bra, but I feel like we're friends enough that it doesn't matter. So I am currently 34 weeks pregnant, and the last 4 weeks have been, they've been tough. Like, I've been struggling a little bit, I'm not gonna lie, especially in this heat, and I've had a few little hiccups and issues that I wanted to address a little bit on here, just in case any of you guys have similar issues or come across these in your pregnancy as well. I would have found this helpful. I would have found a video like this helpful if I wanted to sort of see other people's experiences and hear about what is going on during their pregnancies and stuff like that. So let's just go through a few things that I've been experiencing through my 30 to 34 weeks of pregnancy. So obviously you are well and truly into the third trimester, like really in it, and it is, yeah, you just start to feel a lot heavier, you start to feel a lot more tired. The tiredness comes back. My heartburn is well and truly kicking. Honestly, it is literally the worst thing in the world. I know a lot of people say, like, if you have heartburn then you're going to have a hairy baby or a baby with lots of hair. I don't really believe in any of those like stories and stuff, but a lot of people said that to me, so I thought I would chuck that in there. But yeah, I'm struggling quite a lot with heartburn. I'm drinking lots of milk, lots of Gaviscon, lots of Rennie, but yeah, it's not always doing the job. I have had a few midwife appointments as well between my 30 and 34 weeks. So I had my 32-week appointment and my 34-week appointment. I also had to go in for a gestational diabetes test, and the reason I had to go in for that is because at my 32-week appointment my midwife found sugars in my urine and was worried that my insulin wasn't working to the right level, and said that she would send me off to get a glucose test. You basically have to go in and you have to get a blood test taken straight away, not have eaten for 12 hours before that, so you fast the night before, you don't eat for 12 hours, then you go in, get your blood test taken, then go and sit in a waiting room for 2 hours doing nothing, like nothing. You're not even allowed to walk around, like you do nothing. And obviously I'm sitting there in a mask at the moment and it was really, really hot, so that was not fun. Once you had that first blood test, you actually take a glucose drink. It's like a drink like that. It's basically like an isotonic drink, but like a really concentrated version. It's not very nice. And then you have a tiny, tiny little bit of water. And then basically you sit there for 2 hours in your mask. It's basically to see if your insulin's working and to bring your glucose levels back down. So then after that 2 hours, you have another blood test in the other arm or whatever. I had it in different arms just because I didn't want like loads of needles in one arm. And then they see what your levels are and send off your results to the lab, and hopefully your glucose is back down to the level that it should have been if your insulin's working well enough. So yeah, I had that, and I was a little bit worried because I'd read up about gestational diabetes, what it might mean. For me, it was more the worry that I would have to have a lot of interventions in my birth, or I'd have to be induced, because if you do have gestational diabetes, you're not allowed to go over 40 weeks. So, or at least that's definitely what my midwife has said to me in my district. It might be different everywhere. So if you can't go over 40 weeks, that would mean you definitely have to be induced if you don't go into labour naturally by that point. So that was a little bit of a worry for me, because I quite like to avoid induction as much as possible. Obviously, if there's a medical reason, there's a medical reason, and I'm more than happy to do that, but I was just a little bit worried. But luckily enough, that actually came back on my 34-week appointment, which I had, and it actually was clear. I was totally in the clear. I was nowhere near the red line where I might have it, so I was quite happy with that. Obviously it was a bit weird that I had sugars in my urine, and it happened a couple of times actually, but I think I know what it is now. I'm looking back in hindsight, I think it's actually because every day, like every single morning, I have crunchy nut cornflakes for breakfast, like pretty much every morning, with a shit ton of milk on it, and that's probably like the sugariest breakfast you could possibly have. And then I'm doing a urine sample, and then I'm taking it to the midwife, and she's like, oh my god, there's lots of sugar in your urine. So yeah, that's probably my bad, but you live and learn. I'm not going to do that next time. Next time I'm going to make sure that I go to the toilet and then have my sugary cereal. Or maybe I should have maybe a slightly less sugary cereal. Maybe I should start having Weetabix or something. But I am really craving sugar at the moment, like more than ever before. Like chocolate, sugar, ice cream, anything, like even fruit. Like fruit is the main thing that I'm eating, to be honest, which is obviously a better kind of sugar than like all the synthetic sugars, but anything that's got sugar in it, I'm just eating. Another thing with the gestational diabetes that made me think that I didn't have it was actually because I have a fairly small bump, and I'm measuring fairly small in comparison with others within my BMI. So with gestational diabetes, it's usually a larger baby or more amniotic fluid. Generally, I think that's the most common type of person that has gestational diabetes, is their baby is a little bit larger or above the 50th percentile at least, and have a lot of fluid and stuff going on inside. But I don't have either of those things, so I thought it was really strange. But anyway, and actually I had to go through a growth scan because they were worried that my bump was measuring too low. So every time I've gone so far to get my bump measured by the midwife, like just the tape measure that they do, they've always said that he is on the 50th centile and he's like following the track perfectly. However, he actually dipped a little bit, so I had to go back for another scan. I actually had to go for a growth scan, which basically they kind of feel around and measure like the skull and legs and the arms and all that kind of stuff to make sure that he is growing at the right rate. And actually they found that he's measuring on the 10th centile, so gone from the 50th to the 10th. Now because he's just above the 10th centile, so just above it, like the 11th maybe, he's still classed as like low risk, and I can still have the baby at the birthing centre, subject to anything else going wrong obviously. But if that were to dip under the 10th centile, then I wouldn't be able to have the baby at the birthing centre like I really want to. I might have to go to hospital just because this sort of class is a lower weight baby. But I think everything's fine as long as he carries on that 10th centile or 11th centile route, then he should be absolutely fine. But obviously I'll keep you posted, guys. I don't want him to like dip anymore obviously, and it's definitely not because I'm not eating enough, because trust me, I'm eating lots. I'm not sure if that's actually what contributes to how big your baby is or not. I'm sure it does a little bit, but I'm sure there's other factors in there as well. But yeah, it's just a bit weird. But yeah, it's just a bit weird that he's measuring small, and then they said about the gestational diabetes, so I wasn't really sure what it could be. But yeah, he is measuring a little bit small. Hopefully it's not too much of an issue and he still comes out a healthy weight. Obviously the 10th centile is still really good, like I'm not worried about that. As long as he's sort of within healthy range, I'm more than happy. Obviously the smaller within the healthy range is actually better, if you think about it, if you kind of got what I mean. The one thing I did want to show you guys is actually this fan that I got from Home Bargains. Oh my god, guys, $1.99 from Home Bargains. This fan is so perfect. It's got obviously this fan, and then you spray it and it's literally cools your face down perfectly. I'm actually so happy with it. I got it in the travel section in Home Bargains. A lot of people have been asking me about this. Even if you're not pregnant, like in this heat, everyone needs this kind of thing. I'm really hoping to put this in my hospital bag as well, which the video is coming for that. I will definitely be doing my hospital bag soon. I'm just waiting for a few little bits from my mum, who's doing like a postpartum kit for me. So I'm going to put a few of those little bits in the hospital bag as well. But me and Ash are going to pack it, and then I'll film the video of what I've packed. Honestly guys, I'm just going to show you this. So I've got the fan on and you spray. Oh, and then it's just so cool. I feel like this is going to be such a game changer in labour. I'm so happy with this. This is going to be Ash's job to spray me with this. Home Bargains, guys, $1.99. Honestly, best purchase of the year. I'm not even joking. I'm really happy about the house move being flexible, so whenever we have the baby, we still have 2 weeks until we have to move, so that's flexible and there's no need for us to rush around. We don't have to, like, so if he's like overdue, it's not like we have to move straight away, if that makes any sense. So because it's a military move, we have the flexibility there, which is perfect. But yeah, we've got pretty much everything sorted with the mortgage, everything sorted with the removals company. They understand our situation, so I'm very, very happy with that. But yeah, that's pretty much my whole update, guys. I will do a little bump date at the end and then I'll finish this video off, but I have to love you and leave you. Hope you enjoyed this video, guys. Give it a like if you do like my pregnancy updates. Obviously I'll be doing them to the end of my pregnancy, and I will also be doing a sort of transformation video of my bump as well, because I loved watching those when I was pregnant, like when I was pregnant in the early stages, just to see like how my body's going to change. But yeah, for now I will do a bump date and I will see you in the next video. Bye.